Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Geeky Pod with Manas. So in today's episode, two of my special friends are joining us. One is joining from Canada, one is joining from USA. So we have taken our undergrad program together from NIT Agartala. After that we have gone into our own career path. So in their career path right now, one is undergoing PhD program and one is after completing her master's. She is working in a multinational company as a senior software developer. So today we'll be discussing about higher studies, how to pursue higher studies, what are the steps to pursue higher studies, how to go for GRE, how to go for IELTS, and how to approach in a different setup in a new country. So please join me in welcoming two of my good friends. One is Sujata Sinha. She is joining us from Montreal, Canada, and we have Chumki Acharya, who is joining us from Seattle, USA. So the entire podcast is divided into two parts. So first part is being today. Next part will come in next week. So keep listening to podcast and please like, share, and subscribe in whichever platform you are watching it or listening it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Enjoy the podcast. Hello. Thank you for joining Sujata and Chumki. Welcome to the Geeky Pod with Manas. So we'll start our session. So first of all, you tell me how is the weather right now in US or Canada, and respectively in US or Canada, where exactly you are. So to start with, I'll ask Sujata first. You.
Okay. And hi, Manas. Hi, Chumki. Manas, thank you for inviting me to your event. So to start with, I'm in Montreal right now in Canada.
Okay.
And the weather here is good. It's not bad as compared to the previous years. It's less colder. Currently, we are having minus 11 degrees Celsius, and we did not see much snow this year, but we're looking forward to more snow in the coming next weeks.
All right. Yeah. What about in your area, Chumki?
So I am currently in Seattle, Washington. So right now the weather is like 7 degree in the day, and at night it goes to like 1 degree or 0 degree. But yeah, like in Seattle it's always like gloomy, rainy. So in the winters especially, so it's very depressing sometimes. Like it's always gloomy. You don't you are not able to see the sun for a long stretch of time. So yeah, yeah, just coping up with that.
Great. Yeah, actually, here I'm in Chennai now. So here, just yesterday, it was a cyclone, Mandosa. The name is Saudi Arabia. Someone gave the name. So now it's kind of chilly weather right now. It's around 19 or 18 degree in Chennai. You can imagine. It's like that's climate change, guys.
Oh God.
Yeah. So and I know that right now it will be the holiday season in there, right? So did you go out or in your area or in your campus, anything like that you are seeing right now, or how is the scene there right now, Sujata?
Okay. So here the holiday season, it actually starts from the month of November.
Already started. Okay. It's like
yeah. I mean, visually it has started, not the celebrations. So by visually, I mean that whenever you go outside on the streets, in the stores, you will find everywhere is glittery. Everywhere they have decorated, the church, the streets, everywhere. You feel that, okay, some celebrations are coming soon. But because, as compared to India in the West, I think people are more busier and people always go on working. So you'll not see much people with celebrating. They have not started celebrating yet because they are still busy with their work. And the holidays start from after the next weekend, from 17th or 18th of December, and that is when you actually get the true feeling of the holidays.
So it'll be holiday, right? Like no one will be working those days, even you.
Yes, usually yes. No one is expected to work because all the offices and the professional places are completely shut down. Everyone goes for outing and be with their family and friends. But for me, as I am a PhD student, so for us it's little bit an exception. We do go um, to the labs for working for a few hours.
It's like she's the true Indian there right now in Canada who works till the last day before the holiday. Right,
Yeah.
right. So just kidding around. Anyways, Chumki, how is it there in your place?
Holidays have started long ago, like from the Black Friday sale. So everyone is busy. If you go to the malls, it's like a long queue in front of every shop, every
Uh-huh.
counter. So yeah, so holidays have started, and all the decorations are also there, like at right away in front of my house, like my apartment. There's a lot of decoration and everything. The streets are all lightened up, everything. Yeah, but the cold is also there. Yeah, I mean, everyone is waiting.
So now you don't have to go to office or like I mean no work or it's holiday there.
Oh no, I mean like work is always there, but yeah, it's a bit chill, like chill environment now. Like most of the people are
Casual like
taking vacations. Yeah, taking
okay.
vacations. So no release date for now.
All right, great, great. So both of you did graduation from India, right? When I'm saying both of all of us did graduation from same college, right? Same batch, same branch. But then Sujata, you took higher studies step, and Chumki, you went for job for a couple of years. Then you started going for higher studies. So how first of all, Chumki, you tell me how was it to work in a company, then switch over to higher studies, and again right now you're working in a company. So how was it to work in a company in India, and how did you plan to switch to higher studies and then again job right now?
So I worked for like, yeah, I worked 4 years, but yeah, after that, like I always had in mind that I want to do something more, want to go for studies or something, but
Mhm.
I was not sure exactly what I want to do. But
I get it.
I figured out, and so many of my friends were also going. So yeah, I after working there, I developed interest also on various fields. Like during undergrad, like we didn't had like much idea on like the real life examples, right? while
Correct.
while working while working with the company, I got to know got a lot of like real life examples of like solving challenges, solving problems. Then like, yeah, I thought like I should pursue more on this, and that's why I decided to go for higher studies. So when I came here, it was a lot different for me because in undergrad, I know like how chill it was for us, but
Yeah.
here it was first semester was of course very difficult for me, and the I did my grad studies from Stony Brook. So Stony Brook is a very strict university, you can say, in that matter. So like
Mm-hmm.
actually, so the curriculum, I would explain the curriculum a little bit here. So it's basically you have to complete 31 credits for your
Mm-hmm.
masters to get your
Okay.
master's degree. And like so many universities, in so many universities, people do it in like 4 semesters,
Mm-hmm.
those 31 credits. So basically you take 3 courses, like 9 credits each
Mm-hmm.
semester. But Stony Brook is a university where we had to it was compulsory to take 12 credits each semester. So 12
Oh.
credits, doing it was like very hard at that time, like, and I was coming already from a company. I was not in touch with studies for a long time. So it was very difficult for in the first semester. And also like I had some medical issues like when I came here, so it was very difficult for me to cope up. And then but yeah, eventually everyone gets to learn. You have to come over it. So yeah, uh, eventually like I completed my masters, and then I joined and I
Right. So, yeah. So coming to you, Sujata. So I know that you are the one person who I know that you have been continuously with studies only, and I admire you for that, because at one moment I also wanted to do that, but after that interest goes off, right? Once you start working and all. So we have done B.Tech, then you have done masters, and now we are in Canada, right? So if you can explain your journey, how it happened. And I know you are there in IIT Gandhinagar, you are in IIT Madras, which are regarded as the most prestigious in India. Then you went to in Canada. So if you can explain how this journey happened, and in Canada, how are you coping up with right now, or already coped up? Maybe you're in the last phase of your studies.
So after my senior high school, I joined NIT Agartala for my B.Tech in computer science and engineering. And then, so before that, actually, there is some background story. I really wanted to study medicine, especially neurology, because I was so interested, deeply interested in the brain science, to understand how the brain works and all those stuff. But anyway, I ended up in NIT Agartala for my bachelor's of technology in engineering, and then so then I was looking forward after my bachelor's that I would like to do, definitely I would like to go for master's, because I was very interested in pursuing higher studies. Then I thought that I should do something which I can relate to neuroscience, And then that is when I found about, so I was working in the library of NIT Agartala, and then there was a poster which said that they were taking students for masters in cognitive science. The cognitive science was something new for me. I didn't know there is something called cognitive science. And there in that poster, I saw that it is a discipline, it is an interdisciplinary thing, which actually requires not only neuroscience or psychologists, but also engineers like computer science who can, it's like amalgamation of different disciplines together to understand how our brain works at the abstract level as well as at the deeper level. Then I looked at the IIT Gandhinagar website, and then I found out that you can actually do the start early PhD. That is, you can immediately after your bachelor's, you can go and give your exams, and if you clear the exams, and also you have to clear the GATE exam, the graduate aptitude test in engineering in India. And then if you get through these two exams, then you can directly start your PhD. So I was looking at the computer science discipline, and then I found some professors who were working in neuroengineering or in computer science and neuroscience, So I wanted to do that. That was the main reason that I applied for the direct PhD program in IIT Gandhinagar. And then I went into IIT Gandhinagar, and then but at a certain point of time, I decided that no, maybe I should just take my master's. It was too much for me, and I should just get out with my master's of technology degree and then apply for PhD abroad. That was the time. So after spending 2 years in the PhD curriculum, in the third year, I did my master's thesis with a professor in the electrical engineering department at IIT Gandhinagar. That is when I got more interested in core neuroscience, because I was working with human-computer interaction project for rehabilitation of autism children. The autism is basically a neurodevelopmental disorder. And in that lab, I got to learn more about neuropsychological disorders. And then I fixed my mind, yes, definitely I'm going to do PhD in neuroscience, but not in computer science. But there was a challenge that if I had to apply outside India, then it would be very difficult for me to get accepted in such programs, given that I did not have background in purely psychology or biological science. So I needed some experience to have, and also needed some time to plan out and have some publications out of my master's thesis. So that is the time when I spent in IIT Madras in the Department of Biotechnology in the Computational Neuroscience Lab. And there I was leading the virtual reality team, and I was working on designing virtual reality games for stroke rehabilitation. And
Okay.
then I came to know many more about the neuropsychological disorders. And then I started preparing for various universities. It was not a very smooth journey. To begin with, I got rejections and rejections. So starting from Cambridge and other universities, I got many rejections. And then even when I started applying and then I just found that, okay, I have just 1 month to apply for McGill, because McGill is one of the best universities in neuroscience. And
Yes.
then again, I started getting rejections from so many professors. Then finally, I got accepted at McGill. And here I am now pursuing my PhD, and I am currently in my 4th year.
Okay. So by hearing all this, I'm feeling little of myself that I've only done undergrad. Now I'm working in a company which I started with. Okay. So what was your, you mentioned, Sujata, that you have applied for McGill and now you're there. So after you applied, what are the process? Like, what are the steps you crossed? Like, it's not just application, they, oh, fine, this is a good candidate, will ask her to come. It's not like that, right? And also you got scholarship, if you can put some light on it as well.
Okay, so the first thing is that one of the criteria that I had in my list for choosing universities and choosing the PhD programs was that I should get full funded, because I did not have any financial backup and I did not want to go on some loans from which would burden my parents. So I always focused on the fact that whatever I'm getting in the form of scholarship and stipend should cover not only my tuition fees, but also my living and lodging expenses.
Okay.
So after I got selected, so they confirmed. When they sent me the offer letter, they said that yes, you are going to be fully funded for the next 4 years. They first sent me a contract, which was signed by my supervisor, and I had to go through the contract, which was written that, okay, this contract is for minimum 4 years, and you will be funded by this funding agencies, this amount, and then you will be doing the work on this project and all those things. Then when I read, so these were there were many terms and conditions, and I accepted those. I signed, and then once I sent it to McGill, then McGill sent me the final official offer letter saying that you can start your semester from the 1st of September 2019.
Okay.
So yes, so after that they gave me the green signal to start applying for the study permit and the student visa. But before that, because Montreal is in one of the states of provinces of Canada, which is Quebec, and Quebec it's a French dominant state or province.
Okay.
It's a little bit different from the rest of Canada. So first I had to apply for getting the CAQ, which means Certificate of Acceptance. That is, the Quebec government has to accept me as an international student. Okay. So first I applied for the CAQ, and then once Quebec government sent me the approval saying that yes, you are welcome to Montreal, then that is the time when I applied for the study permit and the visa. After I got the study permit and the visa, then I booked my flight to Montreal. And then, yes, before landing in Montreal, I was already coordinating with the students in the lab as well as with my supervisor to find a room, because I have to come and I have to stay somewhere, but the room and stuff. Then once everything was finalized, then I came here in Montreal on August 26th, 2019. Then as soon as I came, there was orientation program, which it basically is like the McGill as a university, and also as your department. My department is neuroscience. They briefed me on what are the programs going on, what are the events taking place in McGill, and then what I have to do when, what are the timelines, what are the deadlines for my PhD program, what are the expectations from me as a PhD student, and what can I expect from them. So all these things are focused on in the first week, which is a really intensive things and which is very compulsory for us to attend. But that was a very good thing as a newcomer and an international student. I got to know about like how to spend my money, in what form I'll be getting the stipend. Then when I started my from the 1st of September, I already started getting paid in the form of stipend, and my supervisor also encouraged me to apply for the internal and the external scholarships and fellowships. So it's like both paid by not only by the McGill University, also by the government of Canada, as well as
Oh
by the
wow.
Quebec. So there are various things. It's very competitive. So in the first year, because the deadlines were over, I did not get any external scholarship.
Okay. So during your induction itself, they gave all the plan for next 4 years.
It's like brief about my project.
Okay. On
For
board
the
on okay, highlights.
highlights, yes, basically
Okay.
to plan out my journey,
All right.
and
No,
then
you had to clear IELTS also, IELTS, right?
oh yes, it's a good point. Yes. So for me, it was like I had to clear my IELTS. So McGill did not want that because they told me that since I already did my bachelor's and master's in institutions where English was the main language of instruction, so they said you don't need. But basically, for the study permit and the visa, I had to clear the IELTS.
That's nice to hear, Sujata. So, Chumki, you also went to US and for study, right? So, what is your journey like? What are the steps you applied for, uh, and how you applied? What was your preparation? And once you uh, went there, and how did you feel? Like, what was the difference that you felt? Yeah.
So yeah, so for me, like I honestly speaking that I didn't prepare much like for GRE or something like those kind of exams. So I didn't have to prepare that much. So previously, like I was doing some apti for some other purposes, but like I think that mostly covered my GRE preparation and everything. But yeah, before the exam I took that Magush GRE preparation course
Okay.
for few weeks, and yeah, so
No, you mentioned
that was
one word. Can you elaborate? What is that? Some coaching you took?
that's not a coaching. That's basically Magush has a portal like where you will get all the questions and everything to
Okay.
prepare for your GRE exam. So I took it for like a couple of weeks before the exam. And so there are two exams like the GRE. I have given the GRE and the TOEFL for the
Mm-hmm.
English experience.
Right.
So for TOEFL, really didn't prepare anything. So only thing that I watched only YouTube videos.
Oh,
So how the exam will
and
be.
Hollywood movies.
Yeah, how the exam will be, how many steps in the exam, and like how to prepare and everything. So
Okay.
that was only my preparation for TOEFL. So after GRE TOEFL, like then you have to apply for the universities for your master's program. So I you have to prepare your SOP also, statement of purpose for applying to the universities. So that is the basically I felt that is the most important factor to get an admit from any university. So I don't feel like GRE is the main aspect or main primary purpose, or so many people tell that you need to get like this GRE score like
Mm-hmm.
320 up or something to get into good universities. I don't really feel that's the main thing, because like I felt like for me I had a like very average GRE score, but still like I got three admits. So uh,
Oh, great.
I think like mostly it depends on the work you have done, like how much you have worked on the field that you are going. So that's very important.
Yeah, I think like the GRE score is just a filter criteria so that they can filter out people and then take it. And at the end of the day, what you bring to the table is what matters. That's what you meant.
Yeah, so your statement of purpose says like what you have worked on, what are your experiences and everything. If you have any research papers or anything, so you
Okay.
should include all these points in your statement of purpose, and that's what like really uh, matters. I feel like
Okay.
for getting an admit.
That's the
Although
crux.
no one has figured out how the universities give admits to people. Sometimes it has been like this has been like very diverse, like how they roll out admits, but
Okay.
the but like
Yeah.
yeah,
So the
I
experience
mean,
can be different for everyone. That's yeah,
yeah.
right. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah. So first of then after getting an admit, then if all the preparation that you select, like which curriculum or which course suits you the most. For me, like I felt like Stony Brook was a very suitable program, this Stony Brook program and everything. Like I felt
Mm-hmm.
like I want to go to this university among all the three admits. So yeah, so I chose this one. And then yeah, then you apply. Then the university will have their own curriculum. Like you have to apply. There are some other formalities, like once you get an admit, the university will send you an I-20.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most important factor, like for getting your visa. So the I-20 form is, so for getting the I-20 also, you have to show the university some financial proof that, like, you will be able to complete all the studies by your own and everything. So you have to show those proofs, and then they will issue your I-20. Once you receive your I-20, then you can apply for your visa, student
Okay.
visa. So
Understood.
I came on F1 visa in US.
Okay. Great.
Also,
So
adding to Chunki's point, like Chunki talked about the importance of SOP. So, don't you think CV also is an important part?
yeah, no, I mean, like they don't really ask for CV. Like you have to upload your CV. I don't remember exactly if I uploaded my CV or not, but I think I remember the SOP is the main thing, like that I really worked on it.
Mhm.
Okay.
So yeah, but I prepared my SOP by myself. So many people prepare their SOPs from different, like, other agencies, or like so many people help to write their SOPs. But for me, like, I wrote my SOP by myself. So yeah,
Mm.
I didn't take any
Great.
kind of those.
Great inputs there. Yeah. So, you have like both of you studied in India, right? So in undergrads, then Chumki, you did work in a company, Reliance company, for a few years. Then you went there. Now you're working in another company. So same for you, Sujata. You studied in a Indian education system setup. Now you're studying in a Canada education system setup. So what is the cultural shock that you got from Indian way of education and Western way of education? So Chumki.
So for me, like, the cultural, I won't say there was a very cultural shock, like, but yeah, the education system is different. Like, of course, like I mentioned earlier, in the undergrad, like, it was pretty chill for us. Like, the assignments were also, like, it was very doable. Like, we did not have to, like, spend, like, brainstorm, like, really about the
Yeah.
assignments at that time. But here, during my Stony Brook, during my masters, like, the assignments were very tough. Like, we had to, like, although those were group assignments, but we had to really brainstorm, like, how to, like, figure out the solutions and everything. So it was very tough, like, for some of the courses. So then again, like, it depends which curriculums you are taking. So
Mhm.
some of the courses, they are, like, really tough, where you have to, like, really brainstorm, really work hard. And some of the courses are chill. So during I would suggest, like, for people who are coming for the like, masters in USA, to select their courses, like, to make a balance. Like, if you are taking 4 courses, take 2 tough and 2 easy, so that you can
Okay.
balance it out. My first semester, I feel like, was very tough for me, because, like, I selected courses which were really tough. And I
Uh-huh.
didn't had chill courses at that time, because I felt like, okay, I want to study this part, this one, and I didn't really know, like, okay, this is gonna be very stressful for me. So yeah, I think, like, you should talk to, like, alumni of the university more, to
Mhm.
know about the courses, and balance it out that way. So that way, like, it maintains, you will not get very stressful during the semesters.
Okay, so if you go there with proper research by talking with the alumni and people who already studied there, so that makes
Yeah.
life a lot easier, right? So that's what you meant.
Yeah, a lot easier. And also, like, it depends, so many courses are there. Like, one course is taken by two different profs, and
Oh.
every prof has a different curriculum. So it's not like if you are taking this course, okay, this was very easy, someone is telling you, oh, it's very easy in Stony Brook, you can take this course to balance it out. But you should check also, like, okay, which professor is taking the course in this semester. If this professor is taking the course, then the curriculum should be like this, and if the other professor is taking the curriculum should be like this. You should have this information as well, to know like how the course load would be in your semester. So yeah.
Okay, all right, great to know
So
that.
you have to do a lot of research before coming. I would suggest, which
Right.
I have not done. That's why I struggled a lot during my first semester. But I don't want people to, like, who are getting suggestions from me to struggle like that.
No, that thought of going to US was so overwhelming that you didn't do. Maybe. Yeah. So coming
So
to Suja,
apart
yeah.
from that, the cultural shock, I won't say too much. For us, like there were like a lot of Indians in our course, in our curriculum. You know, like every masters in computer science masters in USA have a lot of Indians. So yeah, in my course there were a lot of Indians, and I used to like stay in on campus housing system. So basically, all the Indians were used to stay in the same place. So it was more of like my bachelor's, like NIT Agartala bachelor's hostel type. So yeah,
great. This is like next neighborhood. Time flip
yeah.
you did and went to NIT. Yeah. Great. Yeah. So coming to Sujata, like you had been there in NIT. You have seen how the studies goes there. You have gone to IIT. You have seen how the studies are more advanced there. Now we're in McGill. So what is the difference in stages in terms of study, education system, and maybe cultural shock around the people that you have interacted with so far?
Yes. So actually, it's very relative and it might be subjective, but I would focus on certain things which may not be subjective, but which is true, which may look true for everyone. So if I compare, so I can do two comparisons. The first is to compare NIT curriculum, the educational system in NIT with McGill, and the other one is the comparing McGill with IIT. So at NIT, like there was a specific, right? These are the courses that you have to do in the first, second, third. It was only in the fourth year that we could opt for electives. Only that is the time when we got flexibility to choose our own, whatever courses we want to do and we want to do project on. Whereas at McGill, although I'm not in the bachelor's program, but I do have my own students who are from various bachelor's, doing bachelor's program and from different disciplines. And they do have a lot of flexibilities. Of course, there are compulsory subjects, but they do have an option to move around and choose interdisciplinary subjects. It's not like I'm from computer science, so I cannot do psychology courses. No, it's not like that. It's very flexible, which I find similar to in IIT. I do not know about other IITs, but in IIT Gandhinagar, I did see that people from bachelors, they used to have a lot of options for taking courses and doing majors, double minors in different other fields, which are not necessarily in engineering. So I think it was very restricted and very fixed in NIT, whereas it's more like expanded form. Regarding grading, also in NIT, it was more like, we study whatever is in the classroom. We used to mostly focus on our exams. Yes, there was some problem-solving instances, but problem-solving, very challenging, to solve challenging problems, it was not much focused on at NIT, if you agree. But whereas when I went to IIT, there was a huge change from NIT, right? I did my bachelor's and then I went for doing PhD, but then I later converted into master's. When I went, it was like, oh my God, it's a big difference. It's North Pole and South Pole, because there you don't get answers in the books. You don't get answers in the internet. So you have to think and think and think, and you have to discuss with your peers and solve your problem. even for a simple question, you will not get the answer for that. And I think that is how they train in the IIT, at least at the graduate level. They train us to ask questions rather than finding answers.
Okay.
And so when I went to McGill, I did not find much difference, because I think the 3 years experience that I had in IIT helped me to cope up with the level of education and the course structure at McGill.
Okay.
Yes, it was a little bit tough for me because I switched my discipline. So suddenly going to neurosciences, taking the courses of neuroscience was a shock for me, and it was very difficult for in the first semester. But eventually I caught up with the flow of, and I could understand. So basically, I think the IIT standard and the McGill standard, of course, they are not same, but there is not a big difference if you look at the curriculum. Also, it might be due to the fact that most of the faculties who are teaching and who are doing research at IITs, they themselves were students at some point of time from US or from Canada or from Europe. So they usually try to bring those Western curriculum in the Indian educational system. I believe that is one of the factors. The second point that you raised is about the cultural shock, or about the around the people. So yes, first of all, I don't stay on campus, and I am in a lab which is very far from downtown, far from the McGill campus. So basically, my professor is a psychiatrist, and so my lab is situated in a mental hospital in Canada, in Montreal. So I am basically a little bit isolated from my peers. So I do not know much people with whom I join. I do not know many Indians either. And I being a little bit selective, I'm very choosy in nature to choose people. So I'm basically like to be in the work, a little bit workaholic kind of person. So I did not experience much of shock in the educational environment, but otherwise, yes. For example, like in general terms, in India, we don't see people smoking cigarette while walking in the public place, which is not allowed. When I came here, I saw, all the people are randomly walking on the, on the pavement, smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, and they're walking. I knew that weed is legal in Canada, but I did not know that you can just smoke and just pass by. So those certain things were very shocking for me, and it took a little bit time, like maybe one semester, to get used to those.
Right.